breaking news alerts, overnight news, plus weather and traffic every 10 minutes. CBS 47 on your side this morning begins with breaking news.
Good morning on this Monday. I'm Zara Arboleta. We are continuing to monitor breaking news from Vatican City. A surprise announcement overnight. Pope Benedict XVI said today that he will step down as leader of 1 billion Catholics at the end of this month. Susan McGinnis begins our team coverage.
Pope
Benedict spoke in Latin to a meeting of Vatican cardinals Monday morning and announced he is resigning his position as the head of the Catholic Church, effective at the end of the month. Benedict says he is too old and too weak to continue on, so he made the decision to step down.
He was elected at a fairly advanced age, and people thought it would be a short papacy.
The Catholic Church will now be without a pope for a period of time until the cardinals can select a new successor. A papal spokesperson says he expects the church to be without a leader for as brief a period as possible. The cardinals expect to hold a conclave to elect a new pope before the end of March. Born Joseph Ratzinger, the German became pope in April 2005 when the cardinals selected him to succeed Pope John Paul II. One of his biggest tasks as pope has been to oversee the church's response to the priest sex abuse scandal. He issued a public apology for people being abused at the hands of clergy and said the church made serious mistakes in responding to the allegations.
I think he's brought a certain stability to the church in the light of the crisis, of the sexual abuse crisis, which it needed very much.
Benedict becomes the first pope in nearly 600 years to resign from the position. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, CBS News.
Continuing our team coverage, thousands of Catholics in the Valley just waking up to the news. Let's check in with Mike Scott live again at St. Anthony's. Mike, there's a 6:45 Mass about to start.
Yeah, just talking to a lady right there showing up for that service. She had not heard the news, and yeah, we're live at St. Anthony's this morning in North Fresno, and it's surprising how many people showing up here for the services this morning have not heard about what's happening with the Pope. We talked with several of them just a little bit earlier. Take a listen. You just heard the news.
From you that the Pope is resigning the end of what?
This month.
This month. His health is failing, and I never in all my life had such a beautiful Pope.
What was your first reaction?
I was surprised, yeah, and I was thinking that he's going to be there for a lifetime. But apparently he's resigning.
You just heard the news too?
The news too, yeah. I'm surprised, you know. He's a very good, nice person, and we're going to miss him, and we sure really love to have a person just as nice as he is.
All right, again, there is a 6:45 Mass this morning, and Father Blessing is going to be leading that Mass. We're hoping to talk with him if he has time before he goes into the church this morning. But, Zara, a lot of shocked folks getting the news from us this morning about the Pope's resignation.
Yeah, and for people who are just tuning in, Mike, we're going to show some of the pictures that you took when you were at the Vatican 2 years ago, right? Tell people what we're looking at right now.
This was my second trip to Rome. I'd been to the Vatican the first time, but the second time I went, I had never, met the Pope or been with the Pope before, and so I said, this time we're going to do it. So we saw him first at the Sunday when he comes out on his balcony at the Vatican, and then these pictures are from his Wednesday general audience when folks from around the world gather, thousands and thousands, to see him and listen to the Pope. So those are the pictures you're looking at there. And yes, we've posted all these pictures on my blog. Quite an experience, and the Vatican, as impressive as it looks on TV, Zara, even more so in person. It's amazing. There's the Pope on his balcony every Sunday morning, comes out and greets the crowds.
All right, and you need to tell people real quickly again how you got tickets to see him.
Well, most people, to go to the Pope's general audience, you have to apply months and months in advance, and not everybody gets those tickets. But I had read on a travel website somewhere that if you go up to one of the Swiss guards, those brightly dressed, beautifully colored They've been dressed the same way for centuries. The Swiss guards, they're the ones to protect the Pope, and ask them if they have any tickets. Occasionally, they will pull some out of their pocket and give them to you, and that's exactly what happened. I asked, they handed over the tickets, and we did not have to go through that whole process of waiting months, and we were able to get into that Pope's general audience. That was on Sunday. We were able to get into the general audience on Wednesday. So that was definitely the highlight of that trip to Rome.
Wow. Mike, only you, I guess, only you are able to go up to a Swiss guard, say, hey, you got any extra tickets, and actually get them.
Well, I told before I left the station this morning, I said to you, this is why I love to travel, because when things happen around the world, you can say, I was just there. Last year when I was in Athens, we ended up right in the middle of one of those demonstrations going on outside the Greek Parliament building. I pulled out my iPhone and taped a report for you guys and sent it back. So.
That's true. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing your stories. It's so fascinating. Really appreciate it. Again, if you want to see more of Mike's pictures, go to his blog on CBS47.tv. And here again is a live look at the Vatican. There will be much more on this story on CBS this morning. Again, the Pope stepping down February 28th, the end of this month. He leads 1 billion Catholics. And whether Catholic or not, a lot of people around the world keeping an eye on this developing story. And I know I sound like a broken record, but still, I am fascinated by the fact no Pope has ever stepped down voluntarily in the last 600 years. The last one to do so was back in the year 1415. Let's switch gears now and let's talk weather. Jenny's standing by. A lot to talk about here as you take a live look at your Fresno Skyview camera. It's pretty cold out there.
Yeah, pretty cold outside. So good morning, Zara. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, pretty amazing news there with Mike this morning. But back here, we have a freeze warning. It is cold outside, so once again, you want to protect those pets, plants, and pipes. Temperatures, though, are looking okay this morning. Here's a look at our freeze warning. Clear skies for the valley floor. For the foothills and mountains, a wind advisory. We're going to see gusts of 45 to 60 miles an hour there, so watch out for downed trees if you're driving in that area. Again, that goes till 10. Wind speeds, though, not too bad for the valley floor. Wind would actually keep us warmer this morning, but you can see those wind speeds are pretty light. So we're down to 30 in Hanford and Lemoore, 33 in Tulare and Dinuba, 34 Visalia and Porterville, 32 in Merced. So the coldest parts are dropping into the 20s. Most areas, though, at the airport readings, you can see 30 or above. So we'll move into the 40s by 8 this morning, 50s by noon with 59 for your high today. We'll have more on this warming trend and how warm it's going to get by the weekend in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Jenny. More than 200,000 people still don't have electricity this morning in the Northeast. That's after a winter storm dumped up to 3 feet of snow over the weekend. Things are slowly getting back to normal. You can see people trying to push their cars out of the way there. Airlines and Amtrak close to returning to their normal schedules.
And now you get to be snowed in together.
Now we get to be snowed in together.
Until Valentine's Day.
Until Valentine's Day, probably.
Yeah.
On New York's Long Island, crews worked through the night to clear off the snow from the expressway. As you can imagine, that is a very busy commute. In Hattiesburg, Mississippi, it's the aftermath of a tornado that people are dealing with this morning. A twister hit the University of Southern Mississippi campus. Police there declared a state of emergency and have told students to stay away from campus. Public schools are also canceled. Luckily, no severe injuries reported. This morning, police in Southern California are still looking for the ex-officer accused of killing 3 people. The LAPD now has a $1 million reward for information leading to the capture of Christopher Dorner. That was LA's mayor making the announcement. Sunday night, police evacuated a Lowe's home improvement store in Northridge after a caller spotted someone who looked like Dorner inside. It wasn't him. He released a manifesto on Facebook where he vowed revenge for getting fired from the LA police force in 2009. New this morning, a hit-and-run suspect's now in custody after reportedly running over a bicyclist. The victim, in his 50s, was apparently wearing some dark clothing. He got hit while crossing the street near Cedar and Belmont and is in critical condition this hour. Police say 44-year-old David Santillan was the one at the wheel. He apparently pulled over, but then left his car and ran away. Officers arrested him a short time later. He now also faces DUI charges. Jury deliberations begin this morning in a Fresno County murder trial. Megan Martson is a Reedley babysitter charged in the death of 17-month-old Ella Van Leeuwen. Martson claims the toddler got hurt when she accidentally fell.
In order to be able to speak last, be able to have the jury walk into the jury room with your voice in their heads. That is a tremendous advantage, and prosecutors that can use that well have a real leg up on winning their case.
Martson faces life in prison if convicted. Fresno County Sheriff's investigators need your help this morning with clues on a murder. 19-year-old Humberto Nunez from Reedley was found near an orchard on Polk and Whitesbridge. Investigators believe his body was left there by someone, and they're trying to figure out what Nunez was up to before he was killed Saturday night.
Again, we're asking for the public's help, though, if there's anyone that's seen him or knows how this may have occurred.
An autopsy will be performed this week to figure out exactly how he died. It is 6:40, 35 degrees outside. The Lakers versus the Heat, meaning Kobe versus LeBron. We have your highlights in sports news. And Lefty takes a tumble at Pebble Beach.
All the big-name performances and some surprises at the 55th Annual Grammy Awards. Ambi got you in on the red carpet. Coming up, who the nominees themselves were excited to see.
And here's another live look at your Fresno Skyview camera. The sun beginning to peek out there. Jenny has more on that freeze warning in effect until 9 o'clock this morning.
Good morning. We're following breaking news from the Vatican. In a stunning announcement, Pope Benedict will resign at the end of the month. Also, this severe weather ripped across the south overnight. Several tornadoes caused widespread damage. The news is back in the morning, and we'll see you at 7.